NASA has opened applications for its next Moon and Mars Exploration Analog Mission, MMEA for short. It's a year-long simulation set to begin no earlier than August 2027 at NASA's Johnson Space Center. 4 volunteers, 12 months. 2 connected habitats. One simulating the spacecraft during transit, the other simulating a 3D printed base on the Moon or Mars. This isn't NASA's first analog mission. It's actually a merger of 2 existing ones, HERA and CHAPEA. MMEA combines both phases into a single continuous experience for the first time, which means volunteers won't just live in a box. They'll simulate the entire journey, the transit, the arrival, the surface work, back to back, without a break in the illusion. Volunteers won't just live in a box. They'll simulate the entire journey, the transit, the arrival, the surface work, back to back, without a break in the illusion. What daily life inside looks like. Here's where it gets strange. Communication with the outside world will be delayed, up to 22 minutes each way, exactly like a real signal traveling from Mars to Earth. You can't call for help, you can't get an answer in real time. Every conversation becomes a message in a bottle. Volunteers will run scientific experiments, perform maintenance tasks, and respond to simulated emergencies, programmed by researchers who are, quite literally, trying to break their routine on purpose. Spacewalks will happen too. Not real ones, but virtual reality simulations of stepping onto another world, done from inside a sealed room on Earth. And there's one more detail that sounds almost cruel in 2026. A mandatory social media detox. For a full year. Spacewalks will happen too. Not real ones, but virtual reality simulations of stepping onto another world. Why NASA is doing this? Here's the part most people scrolling past this tweet won't stop to think about. NASA isn't testing whether the habitat can survive Mars. Engineers already know how to build strong enough walls. What NASA doesn't fully know is whether the human mind can survive the isolation. Fatigue changes judgment. Stress changes communication. And when you take away the ability to simply walk outside, to leave, even for 5 minutes, something in the brain shifts that no lab experiment can replicate. This is what the mission is really studying. Not oxygen levels or solar panels, but human breaking points, crew dynamics, sleep cycles, conflict, the slow psychological cost of confinement with no exit. Because on a real mission to Mars, there is no emergency escape hatch. If 2 crew members stop speaking to each other 60 million miles from home, there is no NASA helicopter coming to fix it. This is what the mission is really studying. Not oxygen levels or solar panels, but human breaking points. The requirements. Who actually qualifies for this? You need to be a U.S. citizen or green card holder between 30 and 55 years old, no taller than 74 inches. A strong STEM background. An advanced degree or equivalent experience counts. Non-smoker, fluent in English, and healthy enough to pass a battery of physical and psychological screenings. The full commitment, training included, runs close to 14 months. And yes, it's paid. Previous analog missions of similar length have compensated volunteers in a similar range to a full-time salary. But there's a catch. Normal outside employment isn't really compatible with disappearing into a sealed habitat for a year. The decision to join is a commitment that runs close to 14 months. Training included. The bigger picture. This matters more than it looks like on a scrolling timeline. Every real human mission to Mars, the actual one, years from now, depends on data like this. NASA is planning for what happens to a human mind 11 months into a mission when the view out the window hasn't changed once. The Moon is being treated as the testing ground before Mars. And missions like MMEA are the testing ground before the Moon becomes home. History has shown this pattern before. Simulations expose the cracks long before a mission does. It's cheaper to lose your patients in Houston than to lose a crew 100 million miles away. MMEA is the testing ground before the Moon becomes home and Mars becomes our future. So here's the real question this tweet doesn't ask. If you were offered a year of isolation, delayed communication, and a habitat you couldn't leave for the sake of humanity's next giant leap, would you take the door? The choice is yours. Space awaits the brave. Would you take the door?